The car market now is turning bad for dealers and good for consumers. Even highly desirable cars right now, they're getting marked down. I'm actually able to sell a car for $1,500 on my lot again. That's crazy. Big financial YouTubers like Graham Stephan and Andre Jick are now starting to talk about the car market more and more. Inventory is starting to stack up at small used car dealerships just like mine and at these big franchise stores.
In the month of December, we are projected to get 103 new Subarus.
Vehicles that I haven't been able to touch in years, now we're able to buy them again. And it's not just this Kia dealership, they're actually lowering the prices on their vehicles. It's here at this Jeep dealership too. And all across the country, dealerships are finding out that they have to lower their prices if they actually want to get butts in seats. And I'm seeing a whole lot more of these signs pop up. Here's another one. And what's the market saying right now? It's screaming, take money off these vehicles or we're not buying them. 2 months ago, I would have had to sell something like this Toyota Highlander for $4,500. But now, since the prices at auctions are coming down so far, I was able to buy this cheap enough to now be able to sell it on my lot for $3,500 bucks. All right, so let me show you something right here. This truck right here is $71,000. And I get a lot of comments saying, well, I hadn't seen prices come down yet. And if you're just going up and looking at these trucks and looking at the sticker prices, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to see it in advertisements coming out of these dealerships. If you come to a dealership like this and you walk inside and talk to a salesperson, they're going to say, you know what, you are in luck. Today is the perfect time for you to buy a truck because we're running a deal where we're taking 10% off these trucks. And we're seeing that. We're seeing incentives come from the manufacturers that are actually taking money off of these vehicles. And especially here at Dodge, Ram, Jeep, they're the leaders in incentives right now because they can't sell their product. So yes, prices are coming down, but you have to go in, you have to ask. If you're just sticker shopping, you're not going to see any discounts. So we've got all of these cars right here, and we have a bunch of cars that we're working on over here. We're loading up at this point because we're seeing this turn in the market. We're seeing that these wholesale prices are getting hammered, so we can go in and we can buy just about whatever we want to load up. We've got tax time right around the corner, and you know what? We're going to be prepared for it. And this big benefit that good dealers like me, good money managers like me are having in this environment is a lot of the bad dealers who have gotten overexposed, who have tried to price gouge, who are being reluctant to actually lower their prices. They can't buy inventory right now because they're stuck. And now that's opening up the door for consumers. It's opening up the door for good dealers to go in and start actually trying to find some deals. So I've shown these really big lifted trucks in my videos a whole lot. And this one is the MSRP with the lift and everything's $99,000. But at this dealership, they're offering promotions to actually save money on a lot of these. We haven't seen that in months. If you watch any of my videos, I'll show these crazy lifted trucks with the awesome rims, the awesome lift, and they'll be $30,000 over MSRP. And these dealerships, they're getting to a point now that they're actually taking money off of those upper end trucks. The prices for those trucks were not sustainable. Everybody could see it, but there were still dumb consumers out there that are actually paying the money for these overinflated prices, these overinflated accessories, these add-ons that a lot of dealers were putting on these trucks, and no longer, they can't do it anymore. Everyone who was going to foolishly spend their money and buy stuff like that, they're already out of the system. And what's left are consumers that are pinching pennies. They're trying to find deals on these vehicles. So these dealers, they're wising up and they're learning that they have to mold with the market. They have to move with the market. And what's the market saying right now? It's screaming, take money off these vehicles or we're not buying them. So we're seeing a lot of this pop up at these dealerships now, where they didn't have to do this over the last 2 to 3 years, and now they are starting to actually advertise markdowns on their vehicles, even stuff that's highly desirable like these Hondas. You're seeing where there was and a now. And we're seeing that across the board, that a lot of these dealerships, they're realizing that they can't sell like they did. They can't add these market adjustments. They can't charge the moon for a lot of these vehicles. And if they want to put butts in seats and they want to actually move a lot of these cars, they got to do exactly what this dealership is doing. So this massive amount of inventory buildup is not just happening at small used car dealerships like mine. I've seen even at highly desirable brands like Toyota, Subaru, Honda, those dealerships, these franchise dealerships are starting to load up with inventory. And it's not just happening in my part of the country. Check this out.
Hey Brandon, Alex here over at Bachman Subaru in Louisville, Kentucky. I wanted to share with you some insight on what our inventory is looking like. Behind me, I have 31 in-stock Subarus, new Subarus on the ground that we can actually sell, which may not seem like a lot, but that is way more than we have previously had. Even just 6 months ago, I was lucky to have 5 new cars on the lot to sell, and we were practically having to order everything that we were getting. In the month of December, we are projected to get 103 new Subarus. So this month we're getting a huge increase in supply. 23 of those are already sold, but I'm happy to see that we finally have some inventory now.
So a lot of these cars that I've shown you on my lot about 2 months ago, they would be $500, $1,000 more than what you're seeing behind me right now. And that's because we would have to pay so much more at auction for these vehicles. But now, since the prices at these auctions have been hammered, what a dealer like me, a good dealer, can do, we can move with the market. And because we're able to buy these cars for so much cheaper now, we can pass those savings along to our customer, make roughly the same amount that we were making per car 2 months ago, but I can now sell more cars because I can sell them for cheaper. And that's what people in this economy need right now. They need cheaper cars. And if I, as a dealer, am able to provide them that, I'm going to be able to do more volume and help more people in the process. And another thing about dealers like me being able to offer our vehicles for a lower price, it means that we can inherit a bigger piece of the pie of consumers that actually need vehicles. And the cheaper that we can make our prices, the more vehicles we're going to sell. So one thing I've noticed more across YouTube, mainstream media, you see CNBC picking up a lot of these headlines, is that this niche, this car market niche, is getting a lot more attention. And I think for good reason. That's because we're seeing that that prices are going down, and you're actually starting to see it in the data right now. And what that's causing is a lot of these YouTubers that cover just broad economic topics, like your Graham Steffens, your Andre Jicks, they're now picking up and starting to put out a lot more videos about the car market. And you're seeing a lot of headlines coming from them and the mainstream media saying, oh, the car market's flipped, crash is coming, bubbles bursting. And while I may not agree with everything that these headlines say, I know that I've been one to say there's not going to be any crash, but I do believe the market's flipped at this point, and we're starting this this slow downward trend. There's just not enough inventory in the system, but I do know that they're just looking at the numbers and seeing this downtrend, and it might look like a crash to them, but there's just not enough inventory. And I'm seeing this at used car dealer auctions, that new car dealers aren't selling, and if they're not selling, then they can't put used vehicles into the market because they're not getting trade-ins for a lot of these cars. So no crash, at least on the used car side, is going to happen because there's just not the inventory to justify it. And I really think that them picking up these topics is really a great thing. And the reason being is because the more people that are aware of prices actually going down, it can have this psychological effect on the consumer. So if you hear in the news that, okay, the housing market is about to crash, we're about to go into this massive recession, then if you're a person that wants to buy a house, you're probably thinking, you know what, I might just wait a little bit instead of actually buying this house. Instead, I'm going to wait it out for prices to actually drop. And we're having this the same kind of effect on the car market because everyone's picking up these stories that people are just waiting. And it becomes kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because the more consumers you have aware of the car market actually getting worse, of new cars going down, of used car values going down, it's going to create this perception over the consumer that, you know what, I don't want to buy a car right now. And the more consumers that become aware of this subject, and that they're actually not going to be in the market to buy a car, then that's going to bring sales down at these dealerships across the used car board, across the new car board. And that's that self-fulfilling prophecy as these dealers sell fewer cars because consumers are just holding on. They're waiting for prices to come down. It's going to force the dealers to actually push their prices down. And it could be that the economy, maybe that's not even the reason. It could be that because media is picking it up, because of a lot of these YouTube channels are picking it up, because just the public perception of the car market is not good, it's going to push the prices down because of the psychological aspect. So the thing that's actually getting me really excited about this market is, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll see the cars that are behind me. And if you've noticed that over the last 6 months or so, the kind of cars that we've been buying, it seems like maybe the quality is getting much better, yet our prices are still coming down. And that's what excites me, because I feel like at this point, with the market flipping, with the market starting to really come down in a meaningful way, that what I can do for my customer is I can buy a better car and I can sell it to them for a cheaper price. So I'm now getting back to the phase where I'm actually able to give my customer extreme value whenever they walk onto my lot. So something interesting, I just talked to a salesperson at this Nissan dealership, and they have Sentras, they have Kicks here, but the absolute cheapest thing that they actually will provide are Nissan Versas. And he was telling me that they don't have any Versas here right now, because literally as soon as they get them off the truck, they sell them within 2 days, and that's the cheapest thing that they provide to their consumers. And it's no wonder right now, with the economic times getting worse and affordable cars being really hard to find, that it's no wonder why they're selling those Versas so quickly. And what's very interesting about this dealership in particular is they're not just selling them at MSRP, and they could if they wanted to, because those are the most affordable things that Nissan's actually providing, and they're selling them so quickly. But they're not selling them at MSRP. They're still selling them under MSRP. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to find good dealerships to work with. So I want to point out good when I see it. This is a Nissan store, and I've been here before, but I've been to some other Nissan dealers that aren't really that far from here. And one of them in particular, on all of their Rogues, and in fact on all of their vehicles that they have for sale, they have market adjustments on every one, and most of them are right around $2,000. That shows you a dealer that is not really moving with the market, not knowing that prices are coming down and they can't just continue to price gouge people. And I bring up that particular dealership to say that you can look at these dealerships and see what they're charging, what they're putting on their window stickers, to know which dealers you want to avoid and which dealers that you're okay actually buying from. This is a Nissan Rogue. It's a 2023, and it's $34,000, but you won't see any other stickers or any other add-ons anywhere around on this dealership. And I know that you're not going to get any other kind of add-ons or fees or anything when you go inside, because I've actually been into this dealership and I know how they operate. And even so, you see that MSRP on there, but on all of their vehicles, they're actually selling them for under MSRP. Yes, I said it. There are dealerships out there, they're selling for under MSRP right now, because this right here, this is a good dealership. I like what they're doing. They're moving with the market. They know that the market's softer. I've talked to a lot of their salespeople. Sales are slower. It's something that we know about in the market. Interest rates are a lot higher than where they were 2 years ago. So these dealerships, they have to mold, they have to move. And this one's been my net Nissan in Salisbury, North Carolina. I've been here quite a bit, and all their stuff under MSRP. You can find good dealerships out there. This is one of them. And I just talked to a sales manager at a dealership, and what he told me, that even though that they're not gouging customers, they're selling their cars for what I perceive as a good value in this market right now, they're still slow. And this is the time period of year where, okay, Christmas is coming on. People are more concerned about the holidays than they are about purchasing a brand new vehicle. So this is the time of year where cars sell slow. And he said this is a seasonal thing that always happens. So they're very slow right now, and then right at the end of the year, they'll get a bump, because people know that these dealerships are trying to move out vehicles. So if you're looking short term, the best time to buy a vehicle is very end of the year. I do think prices are still going to go down after that, but short term, end of the year is best time to buy a car. This kind of, what can I have? Even at these nope, not sure what I'm about to say. That dealerships across, nope. And more of these, nope. Since the prices have come so far, but since the prices are coming down, now I can sell it for $3,500, nope.